truck and now she wants a couple acres with me.
But I knew right when I met her that I really could do better. Cause she didn't want a man who hunts, so I just up and left her!
It's coming to grab a cart down at Walmart, then we're
I wanted
hard
to
it's
announce on
country.
behalf of Miss Safarazi that position number 1 on the calendar, Drew Bednars, that case was presented to the grand jury today. So I believe we'll be needing to go forward with
This
it.
dip is my addiction.
My wife is always bitching.
I got
Sometimes
I'll drop
some ride.
but then I'm going fishing.
It's
It's country to drive all day in a Chevrolet, then bell some hay. It's country.
Country, country, country. It's country to wet a line and drink moonshine Friday at 5. It's country. Country, country, country.
I met a girl from New York City. She never heard of Conway Twitty. Showed her my truck and now she wants a couple acres with me.
But I knew right when I met her that I really could do better. Cause she didn't want a man who hunts, so I just up and left her!
It's country to grab a cart down at Walmart, then we're Carhartt. It's country.
Country, country, country. It's country to pour some Jack and tip it back to the man in black. It's country. Country, country, country.
This dip is my addiction.
My
Does
wife
anybody
is
know who's
always
gonna
bitching.
cover
I got
Sometimes
I'll drop
some rhymes.
but then I'm going
Case
fishing.
Tell 'em.
It's country to drive all day in a Chevrolet, then bell some
Your Honor,
hay.
I
It's
know
country.
that the case has been assigned to Mr. Dobbs, but I'm covering today for just one of them, Mr.
I met a girl from
Evans?
New York City. She never heard of Conway Twitty.
no,
Showed
Langford.
her my truck and now she wants a
And
couple
anybody know
acres
who's
with
covering
me.
the
But I knew
Bobby
right when
Evans
I
number
met
10?
her that I really could do better. Cause she didn't want a man who hunts, so I just up and left her!
It's country to
He
grab
also
a
has
cart down at
McFarland.
Walmart, then we're Carhartt. It's country.
Country, country, country. It's country to pour some Jack and tip it back to the man in black. It's country. Country, country, country.
This dip is my addiction.
My wife is always bitching.
I got
Sometimes
I'll drop
some rhymes.
but then I'm going fishing.
Tell 'em.
It's country to drive all day in a Chevrolet, then bell some hay. It's country.
Country, country, country. It's
Your Honor,
country
I'm
to
not
wet
sure
a
about
line and drink
all
moonshine
of the other
Friday at
cases that are
5. It's
assigned to
country.
Mr. Cashman, but they should have been
I met a
assigned
girl
in
from
time
New
for
York
today.
City. She never heard of
I believe at least one of them
Showed her my
belongs to
truck
Attorney
and now she
Guest.
wants
She wanted me to let you know that she
But
was
I
going to
knew
be running
right
a few
when I
minutes late.
met
She was
her
still at the
that I
jail as I
really
left
could do better. Cause she
today at
didn't
4.
want
So,
a man who hunts,
but she
so
will be
I
here
just
soon.
up and left her!
Okay.
It's
Hey,
country
Bogle.
to grab a cart down at Walmart, then
Oh,
we're
can you
Carhartt.
unmute,
It's
yeah,
country.
Hold on one second. I'm gonna unmute
Country,
it.
country,
Hold on,
country.
Bogle. We'll unmute
It's country to pour some
Also,
Jack
Your
and
Honor,
tip
if I
it
may,
back
I
to
have
the
a brief
man in black. It's
announcement as well.
country.
Okay.
Country,
I will be
country,
taking Mr.
country.
Joshua Stout for today.
This dip is my
And
addiction.
then
My wife
Mr.
is always
Pizzoli
bitching.
I
has
got
the
sometimes
client
I'll
Bobby
drop
some
Evans.
rhymes.
but then
However,
I'm going
still trying to
fishing.
look at the file during
It's country
transition
to
here,
drive
so
all
if we
day in
could
a
get a 1
Chevrolet,
reset
then
on
bell
that
some
case,
hay. It's
that's
country.
our request.
Country, country, country. It's country to
All
wet
right.
a
One
line
more
and drink
reset, Mr.
moonshine
Evans. You
Friday
still have
at 5. It's
$40,000
country.
good
Country, country, country.
I met a girl from New York City.
Turn on find out which one for Larry
Showed her
Young
my
Williams.
truck and now she wants a couple acres with me.
But I knew
Okay.
right when I met her that I really could do better. Cause she didn't want a man who hunts, so I just up
So
and left
position 10 will
her!
be reset for a week.
Country to grab a cart down at Walmart, then we're Carhartt. It's country.
Country, country, country. It's country to pour some Jack and tip it back to the man in black. It's country. Country, country, country.
This dip is my addiction.
My wife is always bitching.
I got
Sometimes
I'll drop
some rhymes.
but then I'm going fishing.
Tell 'em.
It's country to drive all day in a Chevrolet, then bell some hay. It's country.
Country, country, country.
We know who's assigned
It's
them.
country to wet a
McFarland.
line and drink moonshine Friday at 5. It's country. Country, country, country.
I met a girl from New
Your Honor,
York
if you give me a
City.
moment, I
She
will,
never heard of
I'll look
Conway
into that
Twitty.
and hopefully
Showed
get
her
an
my
answer.
truck and now she
Alright, yeah, I
wants
don't
a
see any
couple
subject. I don't
acres
see
with
any
me.
like.
But I knew right when I
substitutions
met
for
her
some reason.
that I really could do better. Cause she didn't want a man who hunts, so I just up and left her!
It's country to grab a cart down at Walmart, then we're Carhartt. It's country.
Alright, please, Bob Sal, keep your head up. Everybody, once
It's
again,
country
keep your
to
head up.
pour
It's
some
5:02,
Jack
so
and
we'll
tip
get
it back to the
started
man
here.
in black.
Since
It's
the
country.
gentleman Cobb is gone, we'll start with
Country, country,
Emerald
country.
Miller. Bostic will start
This
position
dip
7.
is my addiction.
My wife is always bitching.
I got
Sometimes
I'll
Emerald
drop
Willow,
some
position
but then
7,
I'm going
24,
fishing.
PI
It's coming to drive all day in a
0020204.
Chevrolet, then
Got
feel some hay. It's
Criminal damage
country.
to property, second
Country,
degree.
country, country.
Did not
It's
put, did not
country to
mark on
wet
this
a
for long
line
they've
and
been in
drink
jail.
moonshine Friday
Uh,
at 5. It's country. Country,
So it's over 90
I
days
met
on
a
but as
girl
of
from
January
New
the
York
9th,
City.
there's a
She never heard of
$2,500
Conway
good bond
quitting.
on criminal
Showed
damage
her
broken
my
in
truck
second
and
degree.
now she wants a couple
Wow.
acres with me.
But I knew right when I met her
Miller,
that I really could do
nine
better.
prior
Because she didn't
arrests.
want a man who
Prior,
hunts, so I just up
robbery
and left her.
2014 criminal damage to property act assault. Sentenced in 2015 in Richmond County for 20 years as an open battery.
It's
24
country
CR
to Force Jack and tip it back to the
0002010G.
man in black. It's
Nothing further.
country.
All right.
Country,
Go ahead,
country,
Mr. Showalter.
And Judge, just for it's
This
90
dip is
days.
my
92.
addiction.
Thank you.
My
Thank you.
wife
That's
is
the one I
always
didn't mark.
bitching.
I got
Sometimes,
I'll drop
some rides.
but then I'm going fishing. It's coming to drive all day in a Chevrolet, then
and
feel
she's
some
a
hay. It's
lifelong resident
country.
of Georgia, so
Country, country,
her
country.
family is all
It's
here.
country to
She
wet a line and
has
drink
a
moonshine
high
Friday
school
at 5. It's
education.
country.
And
Country, country, country.
I
she's
met
been
a
in for
girl
over
from New
90
York City.
days,
She never
and
heard
so
of
I
Conway
am
quitting.
now
Showed her my truck and now she
asking
wants a
for
couple acres with me.
But I knew right when I
bonds
met her
that-
that I really could do better.
I mean,
because she didn't want
I would
a man
go
who
for
hunts,
a
so I
UK.
just up and left her.
It's coming to grab a cart down at
Go ahead,
Walmart,
Mr.
then wear
Malkin.
Carhartt. It's
Thank you, Your Honor, and good evening. We would ask, based on her
It's country to
previous
force some
criminal
Jack and
history
tip
that
it
we've
back to the
heard
man
about, that
in
the
black.
bond
It's
remains
country. Country, country, country.
And she's going to live in Fulton County.
This dip is my addiction.
yes,
My
Your
wife is
Honor.
always bitching.
All right.
I
No
got
drugs and
sometimes,
liquor, drugs, no
some
alcohol,
rides.
no
But then I'm
weapons, no
going
replicas
fishing.
of weapons.
It's
Stay away from
coming to
80
drive all
Jesse
day
Hill
in a
Drive South
Chevrolet,
East
then
with
feel
the
some
exception of
hay. It's
emergency
country.
services. That's Grady Hospital.
Country, country, country.
$2,000 good
It's
bond.
country to wet
Best
a
of luck
line
to you,
and
man.
drink moonshine Friday at 5. It's country.
Wasco.
Country, country.
I
Oh.
met a girl from New York City.
Number
She never heard
14,
of Conway
Bostic.
quitting. Showed her
23,
my
CP,
truck and now she wants a
221-437,
couple acres.
223 A's on
But I knew right when I met
$50,000
her
good bond
that I
as of
really
January
could do
10th on
better.
aggravated
Because
assault
she
and
didn't
aggravated
want a
battery.
man who hunts, so I just up and left
In
her.
regards to following 31 cycles, a couple of SBAs, probation violations, two parole violations,
Country,
four
country,
felony
country.
convictions going
It's
back to
country to force some Jack and
2007
tip
for
it back to the man in
cocaine,
black. It's
2012
country.
heroin,
Country, country,
nothing further.
All right. Go ahead,
This dip is my
Mr.
addiction.
McCurgeon.
My wife is
Thank you,
always
Your Honor.
bitching.
Ms.
I
Collins
got
is
sometimes,
49 years
some
old.
rides.
But
She
then
does
I'm
have a
going
good address
fishing.
off of
It's
Wesley
coming to
Chapel
drive all day in a
in,
Chevrolet, then feel some hay.
in
It's
DeKalb
country.
County, Your Honor. She'll be able to live there with her sister. She also has an adult daughter, a 20-year-old daughter living in the area, as well as a 13-year-old son, Your Honor.
I met a girl from New York
Ms.
City.
Collins,
She never
as
heard
you
of
heard,
Conway
has
quitting.
been in now
Showed her my truck
over
and now she
220
wants a
days, Your
couple
Honor.
acres.
This was a
But
case
I knew
that
right
was
when I
before
met
Your
her
Honor back in
that I really
January,
could do better.
and I
Because she
think
didn't
2
want
or 3
a
times
man who
before
hunts,
that as
so I
well.
just up and
We
left
received an
her.
indication from
Coming to grab a
the
cart down at
prosecutor
Walmart, then
at
wear
that time
Carhartt.
that
It's
there may be a
country.
decline coming
Country, country, country.
in connection with the
It's
alleged
country to
victim in
force
this
some
case
Jack
having
and tip
been
it back to the man
deceased
in
due
black.
to
It's
unrelated
country.
causes unrelated to this incident. Your Honor, we were told that the
This dip is
prosecution,
my
the
addiction.
district attorney's
My
office
wife is always
just waiting
bitching.
on
I
medical
got
records,
sometimes,
Your Honor.
some rides.
But then
It's
I'm
been
going
several months
fishing.
now, and I haven't
It's
received
coming
any
to drive
response.
all day in a
We have a
Chevrolet,
death
then feel
certificate as
some
well
hay.
as
It's
a medical examiner's
country.
report, Your Honor.
Country,
So we
country,
were
country.
hoping that this case would be
It's
declined.
country to wet a line and drink moonshine
We
Friday
haven't
at
gotten that
5. It's
yet.
country.
We hope that
Country, country,
maybe something
I
can
met
happen
a
in the
girl
near
from
future,
New
the
York
very near
City.
future,
She never
from
heard
the
of
district
Conway
attorney's
quitting.
office.
Showed
But
her
at this
my
time, Your
truck
Honor,
and
we're
now
asking
she
for the
wants
bond to
a
be
couple
reduced due to
acres
an
with me.
extreme amount
But
of
I
time.
knew
Ms.
right
Collins
when
has now
I
been
met her
incarcerated
that I really could do
from
better.
$50,000
Because she
down to
didn't want a man who
$20,000.
hunts, so I just up and left
Mr.
her.
Malcolm.
Thank you, Your Honor. We would ask that the bond amount remain the same in this case.
Country,
I
country, country.
am skeptical whether a decline will happen in this case. It may, but I'm skeptical with the victim being deceased, having read the warrants
This
in
dip
this
is my
case
addiction.
My
and the
wife is always
severity of the
bitching.
injuries
I got
from the
some time. I'll
defendant
drop
setting
some rides.
But then I'm
the victim
going
on fire,
fishing.
allegedly, of
Coming to
course.
drive all day in a
The
Chevrolet,
victim
then feel some hay.
had
It's
severe
country.
burns and
Country,
injuries,
country, country.
and
It's
I don't know what the
country
death
to wet a
certificate
line and
says,
drink
but
moonshine Friday Friday
I think
and
that's
5
something
it's
that needs to be looked
country.
into by our case intake
I met a
section.
girl from New
to see if they are able to link the passing away of the victim to the offenses in this case in any way, shape, or form. So I would ask that the bottom line remain the same, at least at this point. And I will send an email to some of the folks that review our homicide cases and ask them to take a look at it and make a determination.
No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons, no replicas of weapons. No further
This dip is
contact
my
with
addiction.
any
My wife
family
is
members
always
of Douglas
bitching.
Field.
I got
Sometimes
I'll drop
some
it,
rhymes.
but then I'm going fishing.
Stay out of Fulton County unless you're here
Drive
for
all
court
day
or
in
to
a
see your
Chevrolet,
lawyer.
then
You'll
belt
have
some
an ankle
hay,
monitor
it's
available,
country.
paid for by the county with the
Country,
24-hour
country,
court, lawyer,
country.
medical.
It's country to wet
Employment,
online
as long
and
as you
drink
supply the
moonshine
name of
Friday
your
at
employer,
5,
proof of
it's
employment
country.
schedule, and the exact location you'll be working.
I met a
$20,000
girl
on
from New
each
York
count.
City.
Best
She
of
never
luck to
heard
you,
of
ma'am.
Conway
I'll include
Twitty.
this on my
Showed
email.
her my truck and now she wants
Thank
a
you.
couple
Thank you,
acres.
ACDC.
But I knew right
Felix
when I
Campbell.
met her that I really could do better. Because she
Maybe if
didn't
you're
want
Felix
a man who hunts, so I just up and left her.
What about Joshua Stout?
Grab a cart down at Walmart, then
Nope.
we're
What about-
Carhartt, it's country.
Daquan Henry.
Country, country, country. It's
Here
country
comes
to
Joshua
Portsmouth, Jackson,
Stout.
Tidbit,
Ma'am,
back to
I'm
the
not
man in
talking
black,
to you.
it's
I don't know who you are,
country.
but you don't do
Country,
it.
country, country.
Reginald Holden.
This
All right,
dip is
Mr.
my
Holden.
addiction.
Position
My
5,
wife is always bitching.
24
I got
sometimes some rhymes.
But then I'm going fishing. It's country to drive all day in a Chevrolet, then belt some hay, it's country.
Mr. Holden,
Country, country, country. It's country to
History
wet
of burglaries
online
going
and
back to
drink
02,
moonshine
one
Friday
in
at 5, it's
2018, one in
country.
2019, one other
Country, country, country.
I met a
burglary in
girl from New
2019, one
York
for
City.
4 years,
She
5
never
years
heard of
probation
Conway
violation, 1
Twitty. Showed her
FTA,
my truck and now
and
she wants a
2013
couple
October.
acres with me.
But I knew right when I met her
Go ahead,
that I
Ms.
really
Murray.
could do better.
Thank you, Your
Because she
Honor.
didn't want
Mr.
a man
Holden
who
is
hunts, so I
49 years
just
old
up and
and
left
has
her.
been 90 days without an indictment.
Grab a cart down at
Mr.
Walmart, then we're
Holden
Carhartt,
has
it's
been diagnosed with
country.
paranoid schizophrenia and substance use disorder.
It's
Since
country
being in
to
jail,
Portsmouth,
this
Jackson,
has had a
Tidbit,
negative
back to the man
impact
in
on
black,
his health.
it's
He's had to go to
country.
Brady several times due to
Country,
heart
country,
trouble.
country.
Today we have here with us
This dip
Miss
is
Emma
my
Weinstein
addiction.
Levy. She
My
is a
wife is
representative
always
from
bitching.
the
I got
PAD,
I'll drop some
and
rhymes.
I
But
was
then
working
I'm
with her
going
to
fishing.
try
Hell,
to
It's
come up
country
with
to
a plan
drive
for
all day in a
Mr. Holden.
Chevrolet, then belt some hay,
We
it's
are in contact with the
country.
Atlanta Continuum of
Country,
Care.
country, country.
They are
It's
working on
country to
getting a
wet online and
permanent
drink moonshine
permanent
Friday
supportive
at 5, it's
housing
country.
opportunity in place for Mr.
Country,
Holden.
country,
So
I met a girl
he's
from
nearing
New
the
York
top
City.
of the
She
housing
never heard
queue,
of Conway
and
Twitty.
will very
Showed
shortly
her my
have
truck
that.
and
And that
now she
opportunity
wants a
will
couple
not only
acres with
provide
me.
him housing,
But I knew right when I
social
met
work
her
and other
that I
support
really
services
could
to
do
make sure that
better.
he stays on
Because
the
she
right
didn't
path.
want a man who hunts, so I just
So,
up and left her.
we would ask for a low bond in this case to put him in bail project eligibility. We asked for 500 on the robbery and no more
It's
than
country to
4,000 for
Portsmouth,
aggravated
Jackson,
battery.
Tidbit, back to the man in black, it's
Hold on.
country.
Where are they switching boots?
Country, country, country.
This dip is my
I'm not sure why they're
addiction.
switching boots.
My
So-
wife
so
is
it's-
always bitching.
Okay,
I
go
got
ahead.
Sometimes
Sorry, I
I'll
don't know
drop
why
some
you
rhymes.
But then I'm going
That's okay.
fishing.
So we would
It's
just
country
ask
to
for
drive all day in a
500
Chevrolet, then
on
belt
the
some hay,
robbery
it's
and more than
country.
4,000 on the aggravated battery.
Country,
We'd also be
country,
fine with
country.
the
It's
stipulation
country to
of
wet
bond
online
condition
and drink
that he
moonshine
be
Friday
released
at 5, it's
to
country.
CAD once his
Country,
housing
country, country.
I met
opportunity
a
is
girl from
secured
New
so
York
we can make
City.
sure that he
She never
goes
heard of Conway
straight there
Twitty.
and
Showed her my
is
truck
able
and now
to,
she wants a
you know,
couple acres with me.
But I knew right when I met her that I really
From what I understand
could do
from reviewing
better.
the warrants,
Because she
there's
didn't want a
fractured
man who hunts,
skull or
so I
something.
just
So
up
has there
and
been
left
victim
her.
contact or any update from the victim
Grab a cart
advocate
down
on
at
the
Walmart, then
victim's
we're
status?
Carhartt, it's
It was a
country.
hit, Your Honor. Just-
Country,
Okay,
country,
that's
country.
yeah, thank you.
It's
We don't have
country to
any
Portsmouth, Jackson,
notes
Tidbit,
on
back to the
victim
man in black,
contacts.
it's country.
Yes, Your Honor.
Country,
Not yet.
country, country.
Okay, go
And-
ahead, Mr. Malcolm.
All right, thank
This
you.
dip is my addiction.
And I believe it may have
My
been a
wife is
femur
always
that was
bitching.
fractured
I got
when
sometimes
the
I'll drop
victim
some rhymes.
But
started
then I'm
fighting
going
the
fishing.
defendant and
It's
fell to the
country
ground.
drive all day in a
Based on
Chevrolet,
the
then belt
facts of
some
the
hay, it's
case and the
country.
defendant's criminal history,
Country,
the
country,
state
country.
believes that he
It's
presents a
country to wet
significant
online and
danger
drink moonshine
to
Friday
the
at 5, it's
victim,
country.
to the community,
Country,
danger of
country, country.
I met a
reoffending,
girl
and
from
risk
New
of
York
flight.
City. She
We've
never
got
heard of
some
Conway
FTAs in his
Showed her
past.
my
The
truck
state
and now
is
she
requesting a
wants a couple
$35,000 bond
But I
on
knew
each
right
count.
when I met her
Thank you.
that I really
If
could
I may
do better.
respond,
Because she didn't
Mr.
want a
Holden
man man who
history
hunts, so I
is
just
not
up and left her.
violent in nature. It's mostly burglaries, which are all related to the fact that he's been homeless for many years. given that we have this permanent supportive housing opportunity for him, that would solve a lot of the issues that Mr. Holden presents. In addition to
This
that,
dip
he's
is my
receiving
addiction.
medication in the jail.
My wife is
We'll be able
always
to make sure that he
I
continues
got
to get his
some I'll
medication
drop
when he's
some rides.
released.
But then I'm
So
going
we believe
fishing.
that,
It's coming
there's
to
supportive
drive all
factors
day
in
in a
place now
Chevrolet
that
and
Mr.
bell
Holden
some
didn't have
hay. It's
previously.
country.
So we'd ask the court to
Country,
take that
country,
into
country.
consideration.
It's
Yeah.
Country
3
Wet
South,
Outline
booth 2,
and
have a
Drink
seat.
Moonshine Friday at
3
5. It's
South,
country.
booth 2, have a seat.
Country, country, country.
I met a girl from New York City. She never heard of Conway Twitty. Showed her my truck and now she wants
Have a seat,
couple
sir.
acres.
Have a seat.
But I knew right when I met her that I really could do better. Cause she didn't want a man who hunts, so I just up and left
John,
her.
that's Mr. Calloway.
Oh, okay, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, Mr. Holden, he switched booths here. All right, so we got no drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no
It's
weapons,
Country
no
2
replicas
Foursome
of
Jack
weapons.
and
Miss Murray, you
Tippett
say,
back
is
to
he
the
gonna
man
live
in
in
black.
Fulton
It's
County?
country.
Yes, like
Country,
All right,
country.
you want further contact John Bain, B-A-Y-N.
This dip is my addiction.
My wife is
Stay away
always
from
bitching.
420
I
Edward
got
Avenue
some I'll
Northeast,
drop
and that's
some
it.
rides.
But then I'm
Greyhound
going
bus
fishing.
station.
Hell,
So
it's
25,000
coming to drive all day in a
Best of
Chevrolet
luck to you,
and bell
sir.
some hay. It's country.
Country, country, country. It's Country 2 Wet Outline
ma'am.
and Drink
Gerald
Moonshine Friday
Calloway,
at 5.
so
It's
that's him,
country.
The surgeon right there.
Country, country,
Yes, sir.
country.
I met a
All
girl
right.
from New
Mr.
York
Calloway,
City.
can you hear
She
me?
never heard of Conway Twitty. Showed her my truck
make
and now
you-
she wants
yes,
a couple
sir.
acres with me.
But I knew right when I met her that I really could do better. Cause she didn't
Mr. Calloway,
want a man
can you
who
hear
hunts,
me?
so I just up and left her.
It's country to grab a cart down at Walmart, then wear Carhartt. It's country.
Country, country, country. It's
think
Country
the
2
gentleman
Foursome
should
Jack
be
and
able to hear.
Tippett
So,
back to the
this
man in
position
black. It's
11, Boston
country.
23, CP 224-469, 104 days without indictment. and
This
no
dip
bond
is
as
my
of
addiction.
December
My
28th.
wife
We
is
got
always
felony
bitching.
obstruction,
I got
false
some
statements,
I'll
criminal
drop
some
trespass,
rides.
But then I'm
misdemeanor,
going
possession of
fishing.
possession of
Hell,
deadly
it's
object.
coming to drive all day in a Chevrolet and bell some
118
hay.
cycles
It's
open case 22
country.
CP 214
Country,
228
country,
shoplifting
country.
22
It's Country
CP
2 Wet
219
Outline and
279
Drink Moonshine
obstruction.
Friday at 5.
Felony
It's
and criminal trespass
country.
23 CR 007
I met a girl from New
7
York
Y
City.
criminal
She
trespass
never
theft
heard
by
of
shoplifting
Conway
drug related
Twitty.
object
Showed her my
destruction
truck
or
and now
simple
she
battery.
wants a couple acres.
But I knew right when I met her that I really could do better. Cause she didn't
8
want a man
felonies
who
going
hunts,
back
so I
to
just up and left her.
egg stalkings,
Grab a cart down at
probation
Walmart,
violations,
then
at
wear
least
Carhartt.
3
It's
violent arrest
country.
history misdemeanors,
Country,
FPAs,
country,
nothing.
country. It's
said
Country 2 Foursome Jack and
118
Tippett back to the man in black. It's country. Country, country, country.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Calloway
This dip is my
55
addiction.
years
My
old. He's a
wife is
lifelong
always
resident of the
bitching.
state of Georgia.
I got
Sometimes
He's
I'll
also a
drop some
veteran of
rides.
the
But then
armed
I'm
forces.
going
Served in the
fishing.
Navy
Hell,
for 3 years
it's
and
coming
received
to
an
drive
honorable
all day in a
discharge.
Chevrolet
Your
and bell
Honor,
some hay. It's country.
He has significant family in the
Country,
area. All of his
country,
family has
country.
only ever lived here.
It's Country 2 Wet
Same
Outline
is true
and
for the
Drink
rest of his
Moonshine
family,
Friday
Your
at 5. It's
Honor.
country.
Mr. Calloway is suffering from
Country,
mental issues and
I
has
met
been
a girl from New York
residentially
City.
challenged for some
She never
time, Your
heard of
Honor.
Conway
We are
Twitty.
hoping to
Showed her my truck
get
and
him
now she
into a
wants
program, get
couple
housing,
acres with me.
get
But
him
I knew
treatment
right
so we
when
can
I
get
met
him
her
back
that
on
I
his
really
feet
could do
and
better. Cause
hopefully
she
not
didn't want a man
back
who
in
hunts,
trouble
so I
with
just
the
up and
drug
left
activity with the
her.
law, Your Honor. At this time, he does have a no-bond status in his case. We understand the significant number of cycles in his history, Your Honor, but we
It's
believe that
Country 2
those
Foursome Jack and
are
Tippett
at
back to
least
the
the
man
most
in
recent
black.
ones,
It's
all related to
country.
his unhoused situation, Your Honor, and we're working on getting that solved. We haven't
This dip
got a
is
solution
my
to that at the
addiction.
moment, Your
My
Honor.
wife is
But,
always bitching.
given his
I got
Sometimes
I'll drop
some
financial
rides.
But then
situation,
I'm
Your Honor,
going
we're just
fishing.
asking
Hell,
that the bond be
it's coming
instated
to
in this
drive all day in a Chevrolet
matter
and
here,
bell some hay. It's
not to exceed
country.
$10,000. He
Country,
still won't be able to
country,
afford that. He won't be going
It's
anywhere on that,
Country
but it
2
will make
Wet
it
Outline
easier
and
for us
Drink Moonshine
to work
Friday at
with
5. It's
certain
country.
charities and other
Country, country, country.
I
programs
met a
locally
girl
in the
from New
area
York
in order
City.
to help get
She
Mr.
never
Keller
heard
moving
of
through the
Conway
system
Twitty. Showed
faster
her
than
my
the
truck
other.
and now she wants a couple acres with me.
But I knew right when I met her
State would
that I
request
really could do
10,000 on
better.
the
'Cause she
felony
didn't want a man
obstruction,
who
5
hunts, so
on
I
false
just up
statements,
and
5
left
on the
her.
trespass, 2 on the misdemeanor obstruction, UJR on the drug-related objects for total
Country,
of
country,
22.
country. It's Country 2 Foursome Jack and Tippett back to the man in black. It's
No drugs
country.
unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons, no replicas of weapons. Stay away from 5 Cleveland Avenue.
This
Southeast,
dip is
and
my
also 8
addiction.
My
Cleveland
wife
Avenue
is always bitching.
No further
I got
contact
sometimes,
with
I'll
RA,
drop
some rhymes.
But then I'm going
listening to
fishing.
the
Tell 'em,
It's coming to drive all day in a Chevrolet, then bale some hay. It's country.
Country. It's country to wet online and drink moonshine Friday at 5. It's country.
10,000, 3,000,
I met a girl
3,000,
from
2,000,
New
and
York City. She never heard
UJRJ.
of
10,
Conway
3,
Twitty.
3, 2,
Showed her my truck and now she wants
Best of luck to you,
a
sir.
couple
You can leave
acres.
it.
But I knew right when I met her that I really could do better. Cause she
we
didn't
have
want a man who
Felix
hunts,
Campbell
so I
yet?
just up and left her!
It's coming to grab a
What
cart
about
down at
Joshua
Walmart.
Stout?
Where
Are you
Carhartt
Felix
is
Campbell?
country.
All right, we got Felix Campbell. Position 8. 23, CP 218-738, 92 days around indictment, $15,000 good bond. I'm not sure these days are. I don't know what's going on because this is a May
This dip
2020
is my
which would obviously
addiction.
border
My wife
on
is
more than
always
92 days
bitching.
from
I
indictment.
got
Sometimes,
Financial
some
transactions
rides.
But then I'm going fishing. It's
Theft
coming
of
to
using
drive all day in a
identifying
Chevrolet,
info
then bell some hay. It's country.
Opening misdemeanor
It's
23
country to
CR
wet a line and drink
00271E
moonshine
for
Friday at 5.
battery,
It's
a 21
country.
IDPS fraud, 4D, and second
I met a
count
girl from New
transaction,
York
fraud,
City. She never heard of
one
Conway
record probation
Twitty.
violation.
Showed her my truck and now she wants a couple acres with me.
But I knew right when I met her that I really could do better. Cause she didn't want a man who hunts, so I just up and left her!
It's coming to grab a cart down at Walmart, then wear Carhartt. It's
Because I
country.
think one of the transfers is going to be coming on late.
I got carried away. I'm sorry, Boston. I'm going to have to make you do it again. What about, do we know who's representing Mr. Stout? Mr. Castle?
Yes, Your Honor. That
This
Mr.
dip
Stout
is my
going to be
addiction.
replaced.
My wife is
All right,
always
position
bitching.
13.
I
Boston.
got.
Sometimes,
I'll drop
Yeah,
some rides.
24.
But then I'm going
000.
fishing.
Tell 'em.
It's coming to drive all day in a
213.
Chevrolet,
93
then
days
bell
without
some hay.
indictment.
It's
No bond has represented
country.
anywhere the 10th. Simple
Country,
battery, family
country,
violence,
country.
simple battery, family
It's
violence,
country
simple
to
battery,
wet a
family
line
violence,
and drink
terroristic
moonshine
threats,
Friday at 5. It's country.
Stout.
Country, country.
I met a girl from New York City. She never heard of Conway Twitty. Showed her my truck and now she wants a couple acres.
But I knew right when I met her that I really could do better. Cause she didn't want a man who hunts, so I just up and left her!
Battery, family violence, I'm a 4-3-20 arrest, and no disposition, battery, family violence,
Country, country, country. It's country to force some jack and tip it back to the man in
Yes, Your
black.
Honor.
It's
Thank you.
country.
I come before you is Mr. Stout. He is 23 years of age.
This dip
He
is
does
my
have an address
addiction.
at
My wife is
1551
always
Dunwoody Village
bitching.
Parkway,
I got
Atlanta,
sometimes
Georgia.
some
He's
rides.
been
But then
residing
I'm
there,
going
where he
fishing.
would reside with his
It's
mother.
coming to drive all day in a
Just to add that
Chevrolet,
as
then
well.
bell
Your Honor,
some
he's
hay.
been
It's
residing here since
country.
2013, so he is
Country,
a
country,
longtime
country.
resident of the
It's
Metro
country
Atlanta
to
area.
wet a line and
Your Honor,
drink
he would
moonshine
currently be
Friday
seeking
at 5.
employment
It's
if he were to be
country.
released. He is a graduate of the
I
Dunwoody High
met a
School.
girl from New York City.
There are
She
some
never heard
mental
of
health
Conway
concerns with
Twitty.
him that
Showed
we're
her my
trying to
truck
work to
and now she
resolve.
wants a couple
I will
acres.
be talking with
But I
Ms.
knew right
Stout,
when I met her
as well
that I
as
really
Ms.
could
Walker,
do
who are
better.
both
Cause
on
she
to
didn't
support
want a
Mr.
man
Stout
who hunts,
today.
so I just
Hopefully
up and
get
left
a bond.
her!
Your Honor, this case is entitled to get a bond as he's been in for over 90 days without indictment, so one must be set. He is okay with staying away from open communication as well as no further contact with any listed victims, and we would be asking in this case, given the client's injured
This
status,
dip is
as well
my
as
addiction.
hopefully,
My wife is
I was
always
talking
bitching.
with,
I
Mr.
got
Stout,
sometimes
I'll drop
some
it.
rides.
But then I'm going fishing.
into a
It's
facility
coming
where he
to
may
drive
receive
all day in a
appropriate treatment.
Chevrolet, then bell
To
some
make
hay.
that
It's
transition
country.
easier, we would just be asking
Country,
for a
country,
local bond
country.
to receive
It's
$5,000.
country to wet a line and drink moonshine Friday at 5. It's country.
Malcolm?
Country, country,
Thank you, Your
I
Honor.
met a
And it's
girl
my
from
understanding
New York
that
City. She
the
never heard of Conway
at least
Twitty.
one of the victims
Showed her
does
my
not
truck and now
want
she wants
him
a
to
couple
return
acres.
home.
But I knew right when I met her
Some
that I really could do better.
MH
Cause she
treatment,
didn't want a man who
possibly
hunts, so I
in
just
a
up and
hospital.
left her!
But in this case, according to the warrants, the defendant punched his two sisters and his mother in the chest and the face, threatened to kill them, and they were fearful for their lives, according to the warrants.
This dip is my
And that
addiction.
My
the
wife is
victims,
always bitching.
I got
being
sometimes
fearful,
I'll drop
had
some
But then
a
I'm
bit of
going
head pain
fishing.
as a
It's
result of being
coming to
struck
drive
by
all day in a
him.
Chevrolet,
State
then bell
believes,
some
based
hay.
on
It's
his
country.
2 FTAs and the open family violence case, that he does present a danger to the victims in the case, danger of intimidation,
I met a girl
danger to
from
the
New York
community,
City.
risk
Never
of
heard
committing new
Conway
crimes,
Twitty.
and risk of
Showed her my
fleeing.
truck and now she
And the
wants a
state
couple
would
acres.
request
But
a
I knew right when I met
$25,000
her
bond
that I really
on
could
each
do
count,
better.
for a total of
Cause she didn't want a
$100,000,
man who hunts, so I
with
just up
conditions of
and
no
left her!
contact, stay away from the victims and their residences, work and family, no weapons, no drugs, ankle monitor,
It's
and a
country to
curfew.
pour some jack and
And
tip
if Your
it
Honor
back to the man in and
willing
black
to
is
hear from
country.
Church Count and the mom and the other victim. One
This
of the other
dip is
victims.
my addiction.
My wife is always bitching.
I got
Sometimes
I'll drop,
some rhymes.
but then I'm going fishing.
Tell 'em
Well,
it's
Miss
Come
Walker,
to drive
please
all
stop
day in
unmuting yourself
Chevrolet
until
and Belson
I'm
Hayes
ready to let you
country.
speak. Because the court reporter's taking it down, we don't need
It's
background.
country
noise.
too
Go
wet
ahead.
a line and drink
I would
moonshine
suggest the
Friday at
mother
5. It's
first.
country.
All right, and that is
Country, country,
Is
country.
I met
that
a girl
Chanel
from New
Walker?
York City. She never heard of Conway Twitty.
Walker, if you like to
Showed
speak.
her my truck and now she wants a
Okay.
couple
I'm
acres.
sorry, that is
And I
Jennifer
knew right
Stout
when
is the
I
mother.
met her that I really could do better. Cause she didn't want a man who
The
hunts,
camera
so
off,
I
Miss
just
Walker.
up and left her.
It's coming to grab a car
No,
down
this is
at
Jennifer
Walmart, then
Stout.
wear Carhartt. It's
It's
country.
Country, country, country. It's country to pour some Jack and tip it back to the
Yes,
man
this
in
is
black.
Jennifer
It's
Stout.
country.
stand by. Raise your right hand, ma'am.
Yes.
Do you swear firm
This dip
testimony
is
about
my
giving the
addiction.
truth, whole truth,
My
nothing
wife
but
is
the truth?
always bitching.
I got
Sometimes
Yes, Your
I'll
Honor.
drop,
some rhymes.
but then I'm
State the
going
name, ma'am.
fishing.
Tell 'em.
It's country to drive all
It's
day in
Jennifer,
Chevrolet and Belson Hayes country.
J-E-N-N-I-F-E-R,
Country,
Stout,
country, country. It's country
S-T-O-U-T-E.
to wet a line and drink moonshine Friday at 5. It's country.
Okay, Miss Whitney, you have questions? Go ahead.
Country,
All
country,
right.
country.
I met a girl from
Ms.
New
Stout,
York City.
did
She
you
never heard
speak
of Conway
to
Twitty.
our victim
Showed her
advocate
my
in this
truck and
case,
now she wants a
Ms.
couple
Dorsey
acres.
Jones?
But I knew right when
I spoke
met
to her briefly,
that I
yes.
really could
All right.
do better.
Did
'Cause
you
she
tell
didn't
her
want
that
a man
you
who hunts,
would
so
not
I
like
just up
for
and left
Joshua
her.
Stout to return to the home?
No, I did not.
Okay, well that might have been one of your daughters perhaps that said that. So
What
what
my
is,
daughter, no,
Okay.
what we agreed as a family,
Hold on,
we
Miss Walker.
agreed.
Hold on. What he wants to know is if somebody said something. That's what he wants to know right now. If you said something
Yes.
to the victim advocate.
She did have a conversation with Chanel, but not in that context.
okay,
And Chanel will speak after me.
all right. So were you hurt in this case?
Yes, yes, in my face, yes.
Okay, all right. And what is your desire in this case? Do you, as far as bond goes?
We have no problem with him going. At the time when the incident happened, he did not have medication. We've been struggling with this mental health with him for a while. So the father is a veteran, and the VA suggested that the father gets him on VA so he can stay on top of his medication. However, Josh did express that the medication doesn't work. So we were seeking to get him back to Emory Brain Health. It's 30 days, and he would have to go through the motions of seeing a neurologist. They have a complete assessment there because he has different diagnoses. He's not a threat to the community. He's not a threat to the community at all. He doesn't go outside. He's afraid of the police at this point because this has been going on since 2020. Why we need him to see medical care, because he doesn't remember a lot of things. We're the ones that have been keeping in touch with the courts. My daughter and I have called the courts several times since 2020 for a date, and we could not get a date. The second failure up here, we went in because someone finally told us where we can go and actually get a date. They said he would have to come in. He had no ID at the time. He didn't have a proper ID. So we seek to Miss Wright, his attorney at the time. However, she did not get a date right away. So he was picked up for just walking down the street, I don't want the system to criminalize him because of the mental health. Yes, he's frustrated. Yes, he's been in DFAS when he shouldn't have been there. I wasn't a bad mother, and he took it harder than the rest of my children. They're all having depression issues. He has no friends, nothing.
Thank you,
He
Ms.
has a
Stout.
void.
Are
I just
you,
need for the courts to help him.
are
He just needs
you,
help.
I understand. Thank you very much. Are you afraid for your safety that something like this might happen again to you or one of your daughters?
Well, as we're afraid for Josh because he gets frustrated when he can't remember things he used to know before. So when the incident happened, he's the one who called the police because he didn't want me to put him out because I kept telling him, go for a walk. As he promised the last judge he would do. He complied. He went to Ridgeview. He went to Peachford. He did the so he's frustrated because he wants to get over it. He wants to go to, but the military won't take him. He went to the Marine Service. It
Right.
won't take him.
Miss
So
Walker,
he
Miss
has
Walker,
to
hold on.
get that.
Miss Walker, hold on. Miss Walker, sorry, or Miss Out. You're cutting in and out. It's a bad connection. I'm not catching everything you're saying.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Missed out one or two more questions. Who is the victim in the other family violence case?
It was Chanel.
Okay. And what did he do in that situation?
Well, it was over cat. She has the cat for her depression, and he was holding on to the cat. So she wanted the cat, and he was refusing to give the cat. So I got up from my sleep and said, Josh, you have to give the cat back.
Right.
So that's
So-
what happened. They were tugging on the cat back and forth.
All right. Thank you,
Eventually,
Miss Out.
gave her the cat.
All right. Thank you.
Anything else, Mr. Malcolm? Anything else, Mr. Rogalski?
Not for Miss Stout.
Okay.
Nothing else further. So the state, I understand it's these are sad situations, but still we've got to be concerned. They were concerned enough to call the police when it happened. They're not denying that it did happen. They are acknowledging that it happened. And the same victim seems to be the victim in the other open family violence case. And so the state just reaffirms its previous request at this point.
It looks like previously there was failure to appear warrants issued, and there was no further violent contact with Miss Walker and Miss Stout on that case. Out of state court, it's assigned to Judge Roth, and it, like Bostic said, it still appears to be open for some reason. I don't know, maybe because at one point he was MIA. Let's see. So, Mr. Rogalski, where are you suggesting he's going to live? Sorry.
Yes, Your Honor. So the address that I had for him would have been 1551 Dunwoody Village Parkway in Atlanta, Georgia. Again, however, ideally, upon release, he can get into a program where he will be residing in that program for some time, so that way he can receive the mental health treatment that he needs. And Your Honor, if I just may add, after hearing the testimony from the mother, I mean, she had stated that she does want him to receive a bond. She does not want him to be criminalized because of his mental health, is what her exact words were as well. And we would just be asking, again, I would like to reaffirm my position at a $5,000 bond. And we would just be asking for that bond, so that way it may be a little bit easier for them to get him into one of these treatment programs that they're working on getting him into. So that way they can bond him out and he can receive that medical attention. Thank you.
So, Mr. Rogalski, have you spoken with any of them? What's the status of it looking like? Do you know?
I had briefly spoken at the beginning of court today over the chat with Kira, and she is still working on things. She'd been in touch with some support groups trying to be able to, find placements. As you had heard, they had reached out to the VA, potentially talking about a program through them. And they're working with FaithBridge Foster Care to assist with getting him medical care and housing, is what Ms. Kira Stout had relayed to me.
Is Joshua a veteran?
I'm sorry, I did not hear that.
Is your client the veteran?
No.
Excuse me.
Ma'am, whoever is talking, I'm trying to hear from the lawyer. Go ahead, Mr. Rogalski.
Your Honor, to my understanding, it's Mr. Stout's father.
Okay, and Mr. Stout is how old?
He is 23 years of age.
Because I'm just trying to figure out how he's going to get help through the VA if he's not.
That was the information that was relayed to me. Or that was the information that I had heard from the testimony at the very least. The only one that I had known prior to that was the Faith Bridge, that they were working with Faith Bridge Foster Care to see about a placement there. However, I believe Miss Walker or Miss Stout, I'm sorry if I address you by the wrong name. What I had heard there was that they were also looking through the VA. So I don't know about the status of that, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, let's see. Have you had your office look into anywhere, Mr. Rogalski?
Your Honor, I was just assigned this case
Okay.
not very long ago, so I will have to check into the status of that.
Okay. All right, let's see. No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons, no replicas of weapons. Stay away from 3980 North Point Parkway. If available, you have an ankle monitor paid for by the county with a 24-hour curfew. Court, lawyer, medical, that's also mental health. I think in the previous case, it had him going to review, etc. But Mr. Rogalski, if he gets into a program, maybe you can reach out to Mr. Malkin and figure out something, and we can do like a transport order or what have you to whatever facility he gets into. Let's see. No further contact right now with Jadore, Jadore Stout, Chanel Walker, or Jennifer Stout, unless they initiate contact. Because I want him to be able to get the help, but I also want to protect mom and those folks too. So if they initiate, if he gets in somewhere and and they go there because they've got the family, that's fine. But I don't want him reaching out to them or anything right away until he gets some help. And then as he goes through stuff, we can change it.
I understand, Your Honor. And by the way, they had stated to me here, I just received a message from Ms. Walker stating that they would send him to Emory University's mental health program. Is their game plan.
All right, right now we'll do $5,000 per count. So that'll be a $20,000 good bond. Best of luck to you, sir. Okay, let's see. We got DeQuan Henry.
And thank you, Your Honor. That concludes my business for the afternoon. May I be excused?
Yes, sir. DeQuan Henry. Mr. Stout, you can leave the booth. All right, Mr. Henry. So it's position 3, 24 PI 000199, 93 days without indictment, aggravated battery, theft by taking. We got no bond as of January the 9th. Wow.
17 cycles out of Florida, couple of FTAs, a burglary, grand theft, 1 arrest for probation violation. Nothing further.
Right. And this alleges that a portion of the alleged victim's ear was bitten off. Go ahead, Mr. Showalter.
Yes, my client is 25 years old and he is a Florida resident. He was traveling, visiting during the arrest, and he's been in for over 90 days. And if released, he would be going back to Florida, but I am asked, let me bring up his thing. Aggravated battery. I'm asking the court to grant a bond totaling $10,000.
Has there been any contact with the victim to get the status of how she's doing?
Our contact with the victim, Your Honor, was that the victim would like to be kept updated as to the status of the case.
Okay. Thank you. Anything else, Mr. Showalter?
No, Your Honor.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Malkin.
Thank you. The state would request a $50,000 bond on the ag battery and $15,000 on the theft by taking. Please.
And he plans on going back to Florida. Are you okay with that, Mr. Malkin?
We would ask that he stay here until his case is resolved in the state of Georgia.
So you have somewhere he can stay, Mr. Showalter, besides Fulton County?
He really does not. He has no ties to Atlanta.
And he was here just passing through, or exactly?
The way that I understand it is that the complainant was a girlfriend, but they were not living together. He was traveling to visit, and it got crazy.
All right, no drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons, no replicas of weapons. Stay away from 900 Hank Aaron Drive Southwest. No further contact with Lauren, Lauren Robinson. If available, you have an ankle monitor paid for by the county with a 24-hour curfew, court, lawyer, and medical. Let's see, stay out of Fulton County unless you're here for court or to see your lawyer. That's the only way you can come to Fulton County, sir. I'd prefer that you not go to Florida because I don't know if you're going to come back. But if he has to, Mr. Showalter, that's fine. But he needs to stay out of Fulton County unless he's here for court or to see his lawyer. That's the absolute only reason you come to Fulton County, sir. So we got 4,000 and 5,000. Excuse me, 40,000 and 5,000. Best of luck to you, sir. You can leave the booth. Now, Miss Guest is here. One more time. Felix Campbell. All right. Position 8, again, Bostic 23, CP 218738, 92 days without indictment, $15,000 good bond as of May 24th. We got financial transaction card theft, financial transaction card fraud, and identity theft or fraud when using or possessing identifying info concerning another person.
3CR003271E battery and a 2011 ID theft fraud, forgery in the second 2 count, financial transaction card fraud, and probation violation.
All right. Go ahead, Ms. Guest.
Yes, Your Honor, just for a little context, Mr. Campbell actually is here today because the bonding company, Rapid Bonding, has come off of this particular bond. I've reached out to Rapid Bonding, and it is my understanding that they allege that Mr. Campbell had a FTA that they were concerned about, and I explained to them that he actually was in the hospital, which his family has documented and provided that information to me. But nonetheless, Rapid Bonding has decided to come off of Mr. Campbell's bond. But unfortunately, he's unable to make the current bond amount on these charges as they are. That currently are $15,000. Again, for further context, this incident stems from a May arrest, and the state still has not indicted this case. He's just been rearrested and currently in custody for the past 92 days. Mr. Campbell is 41 years old and has been in the Atlanta area for the last 13 years. He does have a valid address. This is in Atlanta, Your Honor, where he would reside with his partner. We're just asking that any restrictions that wouldn't allow him to reside at this residence in Fulton County be lifted, Your Honor. He does have 2 children. They range in the age of 3 and 15 years old. They live in the state of Florida. However, Mr. Campbell is financially responsible for those individuals. Prior to being incarcerated, he was enrolled in school and was intending to continue his education. He is ill, and I am concerned that he's not receiving the adequate medication while he's incarcerated in Fulton County. I did understand after speaking to Mr. Campbell, it had been a few weeks before he was actually able to get his proper medication, and that is a concern of ours, Your Honor. Prior to working, he was actually employed with DHL. He just got that place of employment, but he does believe that he can return back to that job. However, Your Honor, he was only working there for a few weeks before this rearrest happened. He does not pose a flight risk. Again, Your Honor, he does have every intentions of coming to court and fighting these charges, given that opportunity if the state would indict these cases. We're just asking that the court considers on these 3 charges, a signature bond that would allow him to be released to his current hold. If not a signature bond, we're asking for a bond on each of these charges not to exceed $3,000, Your Honor, which would allow him the opportunity to utilize the services of the bail project.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Malcolm.
They would ask for a $4,000 bond on each count.
All right, let's see. No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons, no replicas of weapons. Stay away from 2365 Mansell Road. Stay away from 3343 Old Milton Parkway and all Bank of Americas. No further contact with Adam Rose. We'll do 2,000 on each count. Best of luck to you, sir. Damon Langford, you can leave the booth.
And Your Honor, that concludes my business with the court. May I be excused?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Langford, this position 923 CP 224074, 127 days without indictment, a $10,000 split bond as of December the 13th. Receipt, possession, transport of a firearm by a convicted felon, felony first offender, and possession of marijuana less than an ounce. Pre-trial.
23 cycles, couple of felonies for purchase, manufacturing, sale, a simple battery, family violence, 2016, 2 arrests for probation violation, 1 FTA, nothing further.
All right.
Thank you,
Who's
Your
got-
Honor.
Go ahead.
Again, this is Attorney Dobbs' case that I'm covering for.
Okay.
Mr. Langford is a lifelong resident of the state of Georgia, Your Honor. He, I'm sorry, is a lifelong resident of the state of Georgia. He does have a good address where he can live with his father in Douglasville, Your Honor. He has been gainfully employed the past 5 years prior to his arrest, Your Honor, working for Gummo Universe LLC. That's a record company, Your Honor, producing music. Your Honor, at this time, he does have a $10,000 bond. He's been in just over 90 days. At this point, we are asking, Your Honor, for a UJR. He does have 4 foreign county holds all here within the state of Georgia, Your Honor. So we'd be asking for a UJR so that he can be released to those holds. He won't be fleeing. He doesn't have ties to any other community outside of Atlanta, outside the state of Georgia, Your Honor. But failing a UJR, Your Honor, at this time, we'd be asking for a total bond here not to exceed $2,500.
All right. Go ahead, Mr. Malcolm.
They would request a $7,000 bond, and of course, no guns, no weapon, no drugs.
All right, no drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons, no replicas of weapons. Stay away from 2135 Godby Road. Stay out of Fulton County. The only reason you come to Fulton County is court or to see your lawyer. Court or see your lawyer, sir. So we'll do 7,000 and UJR jail. Best of luck to you, sir. You can lead a booth. Let's see. Marquavius McFarland. Who's got this one? Hold on a second. We'll see who picked up this case. Mr. McFarland, stand by. Anyone know who's got this one for Mr. Cashland?
I'm checking right now, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. All right, let's see. Well, so we'll stand by a second. Well, we have one for Mr. Showalter, so stand by, Mr. McFarland. How about Cameron Maxier? All right, Mr. Showalter, while he's checking on that. Position 12, Bostic 24, PI 000180. No bond as of January 31st, 95 days without indictment. 2 counts of aggravated assault, possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, and 1 more count of aggravated assault. Free.
Cycle 21 CR 000465J, pistol under 18. Conviction 20 disorderly conduct, and 1 FTA and 23. Nothing further.
All right. Go ahead, Mr. Showalter.
Could pretrial repeat? Because I didn't hear total how many cycles.
5.
All right, thank you. Mr. McSear is 20 years old, and he is a lifelong resident of Atlanta. His mother is here, and that is who he would be living with in Fairburn. He works landscaping with his uncle, Michael's Landscaping. He has a high school diploma, and he has 2 children, a boy and a girl. The boy's 2, and daughter is 6 months old. And I'm asking the court to grant him a bond, $2,000 on each charge, Your Honor.
Has there been any victim contact, Ms. Dorsey? Ms. Jones, sorry.
Your Honor, is that position, you said 12?
Yes, ma'am.
Portia, Arnold is the victim, but there was no location.
All right. Go ahead, Mr. Malcolm.
All right, thank you. So 3 people were shot in this case.
Right.
The state requests a $50,000 bond on each of the aggravated assaults and $20,000 bond on the gun charge for a total of $170,000. And in addition to the usual conditions, we would also ask for a condition of do not associate with any known gang members and do not participate in any gang-related activity. Thank you.
Do we have any names of any specific gangs or?
I do not.
Okay, so I have 2 alleged victims, Julius Player and Portia Arnold. I know there's 3 counts. Is there a third?
Let's see. Portia Arnold. Let me check. Julius Player.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Portia Arnold. Oops.
I mean, I just saw 2 when I reviewed the.
Yeah. Cameron. Okay. Julius Player with Portia Arnold.
Not the only ones. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm not seeing
Let's see.
Okay.
No drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons, no replicas of weapons, no further contact with Julius Player, Plair. Stay away from 1117 Lee Street. No further contact with Portia Arnold. You'll have an ankle monitor if available, paid for by the county with a 24-hour curfew, court, lawyer, and medical. Employment, as long as you supply the name of your employer, proof of employment, schedule, and the exact location you'll be working. Then no further contact with Julius Plair, Plair, and no further contact with the Portia Arnold, and that is. All right, and no further contact. I don't know if this is a co-defendant, but no further contact with Tyvon, Tyvon Wade. Let's see. All right, let's see. Once again, the ankle monitor paid for by the county. So I'll do 50,000, 50,000, 20,000, and 50,000. 50, 50, 20, and 50. Best of luck to you, sir. And no further contact with any gang members, any gang affiliates, and no social media. Best of luck to you. All right, now do we have, is it? Thought I saw it was.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. McFarland's case belongs to Ms. Kenneber, who did just log on.
Oh, there she is. All right. Well, let's see. Larry on Williams. All right. Position 4, 24 PI 000254, no bond as of January the 11th. So we got possession of firearm by a convicted felon.
Larry on Williams, 4 cycles, open case 24 PI 000253, armed robbery, ag assault, firearm during firearm by a 2022. Simple battery, 2022, theft by shoplifting. As a felony, fleeing and eluding theft by taking on probation, sentence in 2022 for 3 years.
All right, go ahead.
Your Honor, before I begin, as Ms. Bostic just read out, Mr. Williams does have another open case. It is just one number below this one. We're here for 24 PI 000254. He also has 24 PI 000253. I was wondering if it'd be possible to be heard on both those cases for bond today. He has been in just over 90 days. I'm not sure why they weren't both scheduled together.
Judge, because there was no bond motion filed on the other case. So there wasn't a bond motion, so therefore it wasn't put on the calendar. So if he wants to file a bond motion, I'll be happy to add it to an upcoming calendar on the other case.
Yeah, we'll get it on quickly, if you want to file a bond motion on there.
Understood, Your Honor. Mr. Williams is 20 years old. He's a lifelong resident of the state of Georgia, Your Honor. He does have a good address in Union City, living there with his mother. He's also employed, Your Honor. He was working at Taco Bell in the West End Mall for a couple of months before his arrest. That job is still available to him upon his release, Your Honor, so he will be gainfully employed. He's also currently enrolled in the GED program at the jail. He went as far as the 11th grade and is working towards earning his GED. He'll continue that after he's released, Your Honor. Additionally, Your Honor, he is expecting the birth of his first child sometime in May, Your Honor, and so we would like for him to receive a bond in order for him to be there for the birth of his first child, Your Honor. We're asking for a bond in this matter not to exceed $10,000 in total.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Malcolm.
Because he was on probation when he committed this offense, the state is requesting a $25,000 bond.
Counsel, on the 2543, what is that case? Do you know? It's not, Odyssey's kind of spinning. It's not.
An armed robbery case, Your Honor.
Oh, okay. All right, so we'll get if you file that motion, if you want to file it today or tomorrow, we'll get it on there really quickly. All right, no drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons. Stay away from 757 Formwalt Street Southwest. $15,000 good bond. Best of luck to you, sir. We'll get your other case on there as quickly as we can. All right, Ms. Kent. Thank you, Mr. Surgeon.
Thank you, Your Honor. That concludes my business. May be excused.
Yes, sir. All right, Ms. Canterbury, position. We got 16 and 17 for Mr. McFarland. Marquavius McFarland, 24 PI 000221, 92 days without indictment. No bond as of January the 10th. We got aggravated assault and armed robbery. Then position 17, 24 PI 000813, 92 days without indictment. 2 counts of financial transaction card theft and no bond as of February the 7th. Pre-trial.
CWAC 2013, simple battery, family violence, and 2011, simple battery. I said that already. 2 arrests for probation violation, FTA in 2019 on probation for forgery and theft by taking out of Henry. Sentenced in 2023 for 5 years, nothing further.
All right, go ahead, Ms. Canterbury.
Yes, Your Honor, and I apologize on my tardiness. I was seeing clients at the jail.
Okay.
Mr. McFarland is 30 years of age. He does have a valid address in the Metro Atlanta area. He is a lifelong Georgia resident. He did graduate from high school. He does have family support. His family is tuned in on Zoom today, not Zoom, excuse me, on YouTube today. He was working prior to being arrested. He worked at Slim and Huskies for 2 years, and he is allowed to come back once he is released. He was arrested on January 9th, and then he had his preliminary hearing on February 1st. He has been in a total of 90 days, so he is entitled to a bond on today. We just be asking that the bond does not exceed $20,000 total. There are 2 separate cases, but it's stemming from the same incident. The financial transaction card theft is from the alleged card or from the cards that were allegedly stolen with the aggravated assault and armed robbery.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Malcolm.
Thank you. In this case, it's alleged that Mr. McFarland put a gun to the victim's head and threatened to kill the victim during this armed robbery. And so the state is requesting a $50,000 bond on each count in position 16 and a $10,000 bond on each count in position 17. Thank you.
Your Honor, if I may respond to that, Mr. McFarland was alleged to have been the driver, not the person who allegedly pointed a gun.
All right. Any victim contact, Ms. Jones?
No, Your Honor, it says there's no victim contact. It says
Okay.
state.
All right. All right, position 16, no drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons, no replicas of weapons, no further contact with Roberto Baltazar. Stay away from 2788 BAPARD Street in East Point. Stay away from all Bank of Americas. You're going to have income on there paid for by the county with the 24-hour curfew, court, lawyer, medical, and if available, and employment, as long as you supply the name of your employer, proof of employment, schedule, and the exact location you'll be working. No further contact with Jacora Harris and Devontae Thomas. They're alleged co-defendants. Jacora, Jacora Harris, and Devontae Thomas. We'll do 25,000 and 25,000. And on position 17, ending in 813, no drugs unless prescribed, no alcohol, no weapons, no replicas of weapons. Stay away from 1338 Virginia Avenue in East Point. Ankle monitor paid for by the county if available for a 24-hour curfew, court, lawyer, medical, employment, as long as you supply the name of your employer, proof of employment schedule, and the exact location you'd be working. Also, no further contact with Jacora Harris and Devontae Thomas.